Hi, good evening. Welcome so much. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm just going live on all the platforms so we can all have the wonderful experience of talking about something amazing, our morning routines. Now, there's a lot of controversy. Those people say be an early bird, wake up 5 a.m. But what really happens when you wake up 5 a.m.? Does that make a difference? So I'm not going to just tell you to wake up at 5 a.m. What we are going to have a conversations about the power of the morning routine. How having a routine for when you wake up was what makes the difference. So this routine is subject to when you wake up, not just about the time of the day you wake up, whether you wake up at 5 a.m. or 7 a.m. But what happens within the first hour after you wake up? Just as a reminder, this is day 27 of the Stock to Finish series, a series that focuses on helping you finish what you started, achieve what you want to achieve. We've called it it, and we said it is whatever you say it is. That's just a simple way of saying it. We started this series on LinkedIn and Facebook, but I was told to bring it to Instagram. So hi Nike, welcome. Now, morning routines, are they important? Are there things that you should take into consideration, or things that are just it's just from people that are making rules that are not for every single person? I have my perspective, but I will share it at the end of today. But the series Stock to Finish is supposed to help people complete what they've started. We've established some facts over the past 27 days. Fact one: people do not have a problem setting goals. Hi, Wilson. People don't have a problem setting goals. Setting goals is not the problem. They have a problem being consistent, showing up, sticking to it, going all the way. So they could go on the goal for 1 month, they don't see progress, they abandon it. I've identified three different types of people so far, and that's what Saturday's workshop will focus on. There are people that know they should set goals but don't set goals. There are people that don't know they should set goals. They're just lost sheep. But there are people that know that they should set goals, but then they don't do anything about it. So they are knowledgeable, they are intelligent, but they don't do anything about it. So how do we help every single person finish what they've started? How do we help them achieve it? How do we help them see their life from a different way? How do we help them cross the finish line? By sticking to task, by examining your work ethics, by looking at your attitude to work. These are a couple of things that we've looked at over the past couple of days. Now we're going to different things, routines and rituals. We talked about routines and rituals and habits as things that you do consistently, having a way you do certain things so that your brain is trained to function the best of its capacity, for lack of better words. So, how do we as individuals start our day right? Why are we talking about morning routines? Now, I don't know if you're team 5 a.m. or team 6 a.m. So many people swear that wake up so early and then that's it, your day will be made. But it's not about waking up early or late. But it's about what you do when you wake up. What do you do the first hour of the day? Why is it important to set your day right? Why is it compulsory to set your day right? Why is it important to do things in the morning? What is the power of a morning routine? So the morning is day, AM. That's what we're talking about. And the morning routines, it sets the tone for the day. So whether it's a day or night, for that 24 hours or 12 hours or whatever time you set yourself to do something, your morning routine sets the pace for your day. It sets the tone for your day. And everyone's day is different. But we're looking at how we could create personalized routines to help us thrive. Now, these routines are important because they help us boost productivity. We've defined productivity as getting what's important done, not just getting every single thing done. So when you have a well structured morning, you start your day with intention and focus. You increase your productivity throughout the day. You do what is important because you've defined what's important. You have steps that you need to take and you're following the steps. So one thing we've talked about is routines are not just for having and looking pretty somewhere. They're actually meant to be done. They're actually meant to be active. They're actually meant to be used. You are meant to carry out the routine and not just one, carry it out over and over and over again and reflect on what's going on to help you this thing. Now, having a morning routine gives you mental clarity most of the time, especially if you live in Lagos or London. You live such a fast paced life that every minute you are running. You do not even have the time or the patience to sit down. And we're not talking about having 10 hours or 5 hours or 1 hour. Most of us don't have that luxury of having nannies, helps, and other people helping us. We still have to thrive, we still have to survive, we still have to take care of our daily needs. So, what are the things we can do to ensure that even if it's 5 minutes we get to do this specific routine, we start our day on the right tone? And that's having a morning routine. But there are different types of morning routine. But what else does it do apart from mental clarity? Now, if we'll talk about activities that I mentioned here, meditation, affirmation, journaling, there are so many things you can put into your morning routine. Then I would show you what I am calling my mindful mornings, how I'm being mindful every morning, how I'm being intentional every morning. It's not just about doing morning routines for doing sake, but doing what I have taken from the best of all the worlds of what I have learned from. Now, a morning routine supports personal growth, especially if you dedicate time for self improvement activities like reading, learning, or practicing gratitude. Sometimes we don't create time for all the things that are important to us. We just continue living. We do not even spend time reading, learning. When last did you read a chapter of a book? When last did you listen to a podcast, apart from the fact that you're listening to me now? When last did you listen to something educational? Do you have a plan for the educational things that you want to learn? Or are you just allowing yourself bump into content on social media, get excited about this content, then you don't take action? We have to support your personal growth, and that's exactly what a morning routine does for you. The truth is, in all and all, it increases your overall well-being. Your overall well-being is increased when you have a morning routine, especially one that works for you. Like I said, it's not about having 1 hour, but it's about the quality of what you do with the time you have. I'll be giving you examples of someone's routine that I think works fantastic, and I started with it, and I'll tell you how to get access to the book also. So the first two chapters for free, and you can read it right now, and you'll be surprised at those changes you make. But a consistent morning routine that includes you moving your body, a healthy breakfast, self-care rituals, it can positively impact your physical and mental well-being. Then it also sets a positive tone for the day. Starting the day with a morning routine helps you feel more organized, motivated, and you're prepared to tackle the day ahead. So apart from just setting the tone for the day, it keeps you the clarity that you need, and it allows you to do something that we don't do. Before you run out of the house or before you jump out of bed, before you start rushing to do every single thing, pause and reflect. Now, some Christians do this already. They wake up in the morning and they pray. That's the first thing you do every morning before your feet step on the ground. You pray. So what I will be suggesting are other things you can include into that quiet time, because you don't realize the power of your quiet time, the quiet of your meditation, the quiet of you just reading a devotional. Those things are powerful. But when we now add personal development to it, it is remarkable the changes we would make. So we're not just focusing on personal development only when it's needed or when we think we need it, but all the time, even when we don't see it as something that is required. I'm just making adjustments so that those on Instagram can also see. Fantastic. So pause and reflect. That's what it helps you do. Think about it. In the morning, you're going to work, you're running out. You rarely have time to actually think, especially if you don't wake up early enough or you went to bed late. You don't have time to think. You are just trying to catch your train. You're trying to catch the bus. You're trying to beat traffic. You're trying to do so many things, but you fail to pause and reflect. So, having a routine helps you do exactly what you need to do. Prepare for the future, not just for the day, but it starts with one day at a time. Now, when it comes to morning routines, I have my dad has early morning routines that he does. My dad wakes up quite early. My mom too wakes up quite early. They actually do certain things. My mom will pray before she does anything. So I have seen the power of people having morning routines. But we have a lot more access to resources that we can learn from. We can learn from people's stories. And it's like I said, it's not just about waking up 5 a.m. because some people will say, wake up 5 a.m., start your day before 5 a.m. All those things are nice to have, all right? But not everybody has that luxury of giving 1 hour in the morning to do certain things. So, what can you do with the little time you have that helps you improve yourself? And what are the inspirations we have? Like I said, it's not just about waking up about 5 a.m., it's about what you do when you wake up. So, the moment you wake up till you go to bed, you are doing something. So, it's not just about, oh, I woke up at 5 a.m. and I did this, or 4 a.m. Some people say 4 a.m. What time does everyone wake up? Does everybody have a time to wake up? There are some people that have their routine in them since they were in secondary school till date. And once it's a certain time, no matter where they are, I have a friend, no matter where she is in the world, no matter what she has done the night before, once it's 6 a.m., she wakes up and she's out of bed. You cannot change that for anything. So I would like to know, what are your own wake up times? Do you wake up at a specific time? Do you wake up before your alarm clock? Do you use your alarm clock? And there are different types of people. There are people that are called the early risers. Now, they want to wake up early, but they will engage in meditation, exercise, and planning for the day. So they wake up early and the first thing they think about is movement. They exercise, they move, and they plan for the day. So you may be an early riser, I don't know. But then you have the mindful start, and this is what I will call my mom. My mom is more of a mindful start person. It's a routine centered around mindful practices such as meditation, gratitude, journaling, and affirmation. And this is why I talked about prayers. You're intentional about what you do when you wake up in the morning. And we call those ones the mindful starters because they are mindful, they are intentional about what they do. They don't grab their phone first. They may grab a notebook first. They may grab a journal first. So they've already positioned these things around them. They may grab their Quran first. They may grab their Bible. They will grab something that would help them connect with their belief system. So they are mindful, they are intentional starters. They don't just think about early rising. Whenever I rise, I will do this. Then there are those creative people that, you know what, I have to paint in the morning, I have to play football, I have to play an instrument, I have to tap into my creativity. That's rarely seen, but with this creative industry we live in the knowledge economy, you're seeing more people go for the creative flow because people are following their dreams and they're monetizing their gifts. So they want to do something in the morning, whether it's play an instrument, do sports, something to inspire them to be more creative because they are paid for their creativity. Now, most of us have 9 to 5 jobs, right? Either in the military for someone like Amina, you already have a routine of what you do when you get to work. But now the routine we are talking about is the routine you do for yourself, not just the one that is based on your work. Your identity is not solely based on your work only. I will just repeat that for emphasis. Your identity is not solely based on your work. I have this creative quadrant that I will share again someday. But basically, there's one part of the quadrant I call some people the lost sheep, and I call some others advocates. The advocates, they are ready to support anybody's journey but their own. Now, what the advocate needs is that creative flow. So, what I'm giving you is something that would make you connect with yourself and give you a bigger purpose than the job you have. So, you are deriving fulfillment not from your job, but from something else. However, something you should know when you want to build any morning routine, it doesn't start in the morning. No, I have good news for you. Your morning routine doesn't start in the morning, it starts at night. So, we're going to talk about night routines on the 29th or so. Today we're talking about morning routines. Tomorrow we'll talk about journaling and I will explain why. Your morning routine starts the night before. You plan what you want to do the night before. That's just what I will say for now. So if you want to go to the gym, you prepare your gym wear. If you want to go running, prepare your trainers. It's not when you wake up in the morning you remember that you did not charge your wristwatch that you're supposed to go running with, or you didn't do something, or you don't have music that you need to go on your walk. All those little things you would need the night before, you have prepared them. So your morning doesn't start the moment you wake up. It starts before you go to bed. Why are we talking about morning routines and how do they make us more productive? The more productive we are, it depends on how what we put into what we are doing, how we pay attention to what we do. So when we start our morning the night before, we're able to pay attention to what we want to do the next morning and plan the night before, so that when you wake up, you know exactly what you're doing. That's not when you're guessing. So some people start their morning routine by planning their day. I start mine by the night before, planning the night before. Like I already know what I'm doing tomorrow morning, because I've planned the week before. Because of my workshop, I've had to plan some days in advance, so my slides and everything will be ready earlier, because I cannot help but deliver on Saturday. I have to deliver on Saturday. So my morning has been planned already. I'm not going to wait till anything. But first thing you have to do is set intentions. We talked about understanding your goals and knowing your priorities before you set your goals. So when you reflect on your priorities and your goals for the next day, you will outline the tasks and activities you want to accomplish. So first of all, the very first thing you have to do when you're planning your morning routine is to set intentions. Then prepare your environment. I already said this. Prepare every single thing you need. If you want to read for an exam in the morning, first thing in the morning, if you want to wake up and read, then what you have to do is simply, sorry for those on Instagram, I am still trying to figure out the way to get this done. Yeah, I'm back. So if you want to read, for example, you have to get everything you need to read prepared the night before. So it's not the morning of that you're wondering what's missing. Why am I not? Where's my notebook? Where is my pen? Oh, I don't have ink. Every single thing you need is prepared. So it gives you an opportunity to explore. It gives you an opportunity to focus. It gives you an opportunity to eliminate distraction. For example, you may not read every morning, but there's a specific morning you want to read. So the night before, you already set your alarm one, you get all the materials you need to, you automatically set your phone on do not disturb. Three simple things that you've done, and you get started with your day. So it's about what you do to eliminate distractions by preparing your environment. Some people go as far as preparing meals. Now this is something that I struggle with sometimes, but if you can do it, do it. I don't like overnight oats, but I like my breakfast to be grab and go. If you're like me that doesn't want to start cooking in the morning, and the only way you will not skip breakfast is if you have grab and go, create something, soak oats overnight, to do something that you can just easily grab. Make your smoothie the night before and then just grab it in the morning. Prepare your fruits the night before and just pour it into the blender in the morning. Because what you want for your morning is for it to be seamless. So you don't have to think about it. You're just doing it. A routine is something that you don't overthink. It just flows naturally. It starts as an habit, but it becomes a routine that you just keep doing and doing with ease. So make it as seamless as possible. Now, anybody that knows me knows this is my favorite, one of my favorite books. If I'm naming 5 books I want people to read that transform their lives, it's The Miracle Morning by Al Elrod I will start with. Why? It's because it transformed my life. So let me tell you about this book. I was struggling with morning routines. I was struggling because I was working from home. I was studying. I was creating courses. I was hosting a radio show. I had quite a lot of dreams. So I was just a creative that needed an outlet at that point in time. That's what I would call myself, a creative that needed an outlet. And I joined a book club, and one of the books we read was The Miracle Morning by Al Elrod. And this book talks about the fact that the first thing you do for the first hour of the day counts. It's more important than just having goals, but having something that you stick to. So the miracle morning is something that has been done by so many people where they focus on a couple of things that you must do every day. Now, a routine is something that you must do. I have things, when I talked about list, I said I have a must do list, I have a to do list, and I have a should do. If I have time, I should do this, but I must do these things. It's non negotiable for you to do them. And it's called the Savers Framework. It's a simple framework for commanding your morning. And it starts with silence, affirmation, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing. Now, why are these things savers, and how do savers save the day? I take savers as my knight in shining armor, as someone that is wearing a cape trying to rescue me. And I realize that I am the one wearing the cape because I have to do these things. No one is going to come rescue you. You need to rescue your day. And it's about starting your day in silence. For people, it could be different. That's why I use prayer. Some people, it's deep reading you can do. But what's the power of silence? Your mind is so busy 24/7. You are talking to every other person. Now you're spending time with yourself, listening to yourself, just sitting silently. You're either meditating, that time you may not be, maybe focused on something, but you are doing nothing but sitting with yourself silently. So you can do this through guided meditation that is telling you to focus on one thing, but that's moving your mind. What I would recommend is just sitting down silently. No noise, no music, nothing. Just sit down, take deep breaths. And this is a good opportunity for you to reduce stress, increase self awareness, listen to your own thoughts, listen to your body. It improves your overall well being. Because when you cultivate inner peace and focus, you are the best version of yourself. So silence is fantastic when you start with the S. And according to Al Elrod, you do all these things daily. And trust me, you can. Why am I giving you his routine? Because it has been tested and proven. It's something that you can read about. It's something you can watch a documentary about. It's something that you can Google and you will see results. Silence, the power of silence. We live in a world where it's so busy and so noisy that keeping silent is something we don't even do. When last did you sit down with your thoughts? When last did you just keep quiet and listen to nobody but yourself? Or do you get bored? Do you let boredom not take over you? We're no longer children that we can't just sit idle and sit still. Boredom is something we should embrace. We should embrace it fully. We should be willing to do something or nothing about it. But we just want to sit with ourselves and get to know ourselves. Cultivate that inner peace. You could take it as 5 hours, 5 minutes, 5 seconds, 1 minute, but just leave your timer on and sit silently. Now, I'll be honest, I struggled with this first of all because when I wake up, I'm still a bit sleepy. And you not tell me to sit silently. I'm like, I'm going to sleep. Oh. So, yes, I'm just telling you, sometimes you will sleep, but keep trying. So I would change positions. I could stand and do it. I could sit somewhere else and do it. But I kept trying till I was able to find my own way of doing it. And that is by guided meditation. So by scriptures, by praying, but sitting silently is what he recommends. The second one is affirmations, and I'll tell you how I do it. But it's about speaking positively about yourself, having certain affirmations you have written about yourself in advance, and then speaking them over your life consistently. So, this is not the manifestation gimmick that everybody is into. No, this is completely different. This is an opportunity for you to speak into your life and reframe your mindset. I will share how I do it. But write down affirmations that resonate with you and align with your visions. And then repeating them out loud to yourself, or you can say them silently if you don't want to wake anybody up. But if you want to cultivate certain things, you do it. And another thing I could say about affirmations, if you think affirmation is too mainstream, then write out scriptures about what the Bible has said you are, or who the Bible has said you are. Because as a Christian, I can speak about what I know. There are scriptures that talk about how God sees us and how God loves us. So if you are dealing with those things, write down these affirmations or write down these scriptures and read them to yourself over and over and over again every morning till they become part of your system, till they become part of you. Jonathan Edwards talks about resolutions. He had these resolutions that he read to himself. And one of his resolutions was, I think, I resolved to do everything within my power every day to ensure that, well, as long as I breathe, God's name will be glorified. That's what Jonathan Edwards said. So he speaks about the power of, he talked about resolutions. I take bits and pieces of things and I make them suit me. So, yes, affirmations may be mainstream, but you can take scriptures. When you hear certain things, don't just dismiss it. But what we are talking about is how you can start your morning in a way that improves your mind and prepares you for the world that you are going to face. We said sit in silence, and I said do meditation or prayer. Write out scriptures or affirmations or positive words that will tell you the way you see yourself, and you speak about yourself in that way every day. Now, what I will say is get your children to practice this also. Write who they are in Christ, who they are as individuals. Let them understand their identity and speak these words to themselves before they go out to school, before the world tells them who they are. They have told themselves and they know it for themselves. So I believe in the power of affirmations. I believe in speaking and affirming things that are not as though they were. Speak positive affirmations to rewire your brain, boost confidence, and set the tone of your day. Now, this is one that many people skip. Now, if you just join, we're talking about miracle morning habits that Al Elrod gave as an example. And before we do that, okay, yes, to-do list, should-do list, and must-do list. I like that. Yes, I say that. Your morning routine does not start in the morning, but it starts the night before. Thank you, Wilson. Yes, your morning routine starts the night before. It doesn't start in the morning, it starts the night before. Now, visualization. Most of these things are done in advance, and then when you have them as a routine, they are things that you keep practicing. So it's about visualizing the life you want to have. Even the Bible is clear on this. Write a vision, make it plain. Write it down. Pictures, visualize the life you want to live, the life you are created to live. It's about having vivid imaginations and spending time thinking about your goals, spending time thinking about this daily. It doesn't have to be 6 hours. It can be 2 minutes that you use to visualize. If you have a vision board, you go through it yourself. And I recommend everybody having a vision board. And you are painting this mental picture of the future and you're keeping it in front of you. Now, what happens is most people have a mental picture of the future or a physical picture of the future that they have created, but they abandon it. Where is your vision board? When last did you look at it? Is it something you visualize? Where are those plans you made for yourself? Where are those things you spoke about your business, your brand, your ministry? Do you put them in sight in plain sight, or are they hidden somewhere? Why are we doing these practices? Because then your actions will now be working towards achieving these things. They say it. Al Elrod says, creating vivid imaginations, images of your desired outcomes. It's about closing your eyes and imagining yourself achieving your goals and living the life you desire. So you are visualizing it, but you visualize this concept in advance and then you're just using it every morning. So it's not every morning that you start saying, what kind of life do I want to live? You don't have that time. The morning starts and you're like, okay, this is the life I want for my wife. This is the life I want for myself. This is the life I want for my children. This is the life I want for my business. You're speaking it, you're looking at it, koro koro. So a vision board helps with visualization. Exercise. I will not lie to you people though. I struggle with this. I struggle with exercise, but I've started taking walks. I've started gradually. Some days I do it, some days I don't, but it's something that I'm saying I'm incorporating from July completely. But they recommend 10 to 20 minutes. Not everybody has that luxury, even if it's 2 minutes of just moving around or you being intentional every day about moving around. But you want a situation where you just do brisk walk that helps you commit to regular physical movement every morning. So it's incorporating physical activity that would energize your body and enhance mood and improve overall well-being. Reading. When it comes to reading, Al talks about devoting time to reading, inspiring and educational material to broaden your knowledge and stimulate personal growth. So this is not just reading your Bible. This is about, okay, these are the areas I want to grow in. And you are intentional about those things that you're reading. And you're doing this every morning, every single morning for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. You are reading. You are actually reading. And you've chosen what you want to read the night before or the week before. You've chosen the pages that you want to read. It's not that moment you start saying, where did I stop? I can't remember. Or what did I read? If you have to have a recap, have the space where you have your recap written and then you start reading. But this practice of daily reading and learning something new every day is something that our children will see and they would also do. But it's something that also helps us be the best version of ourselves. What it does is beautiful. It just expands your mind. It will enhance your creativity. You'll be able to explore new things. And the truth is, it fuels your personal development, especially if you're not going for reading 52 books, but the books that you're selecting are books that would help you, that you've selected in advance, that are in line with your vision, your priorities, and your values. So you're intentional about this. Most people do the reading, but they don't do the scribing. Scribing is journaling, and tomorrow we're going to talk more about journaling, so I won't go into details on journaling. But this is what I will say: write, express gratitude, put pen to paper, think on paper, get the thoughts of the day out of your head and onto paper. Don't let all those things linger in your mind. There are so many things that are on our mind that we don't pour out. We don't talk to anybody about it. We don't talk to anybody at all. We just keep thinking these thoughts and we do not express them. So, apart from expressing gratitude, express your thoughts on paper. We'll talk more about it tomorrow, like I said, but it talks about scribing. So morning tip, morning routines are to help you succeed, and the savers is just one of the routines. And I said I was going to tell you how to talk about these savers and where to find these savers, because it's in Al Elrod's Miracle Morning. That's the name of the book I just reviewed. The Miracle Morning or Miracle Morning. I'm going to look for the website now, and then you would be able to just get the feel of what you can do with their website, because they have amazing resources. In the past, now he's doing a 30 days challenge. You can join this 30 days challenge. I'm not sure what it's about, but what I wanted to look at was the fact that he gives 20 minutes free every day. I mean, two pages, two chapters free of his book to anybody that wants to take it on miraclemorning.com. But this is a good one to go to, and this is a good video to watch. So if you go to the miraclemorning.com, you will be able to grab chapter 1 and 2 of the book for free. And it goes into more details about the stuff that I just mentioned. But yes, think about it, and yeah, that'll be fantastic. But that's what it talks about: savers. Silence, affirmation, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing. To me, it's the best way to get started with a morning routine if you don't have one. Morning routines are not just about waking up 5 a.m., but it's about the quality of what we do when we wake up this time. And they are highly personal. Personalize it. Once you try somebody's method, like the Miracle Morning method, you have to make it personal. You're different. Maybe you want to listen to an audiobook, you don't want to read. Okay. But that scribing makes your brain work, in my opinion. You don't like journaling, you rather speak your journal and do an audio recording. That works for you. And someone transcribes it for you. Okay. But what we're doing is we're being intentional about learning and expressing our thoughts, not letting our thoughts go with us. So they're personal. What works for one person may not work for another. So what I want you to do when you think about your miracle morning or your morning routine is start with small steps. Start with silence, maybe. Start with affirmations, maybe, but start small. When I started with silence, I struggled because when you wake up in the morning, you don't want to be silent. You just want to get your brain busy so that your brain wakes up also. But start with small steps, be consistent. Please embrace flexibility. I sometimes I realize that exercising earlier may help my brain wake up. So I'm flexible and I bring that forward. But find accountability. Don't do this alone. Most of the time we run alone, and that's why we get into trouble. Find other people that are on the same or similar journey with you, and most importantly, track your progress. Don't just keep on walking like no, you're not tracking your progress. Track your progress. Remember, the power of a morning routine lies in your intentional choices that you make at that sacred time. We've talked about respecting time, not just time management. When we see time as something that we should reverence and respect, we will deal with it in a different way. We'll be intentional about the choices we make. We will take it as something sacred. The reason we don't take time as something sacred is because we don't respect it. So respect time. Now, this is what I was talking about, quantity or quality. It's about the quality. So whether you say you have 10 minutes every day to dedicate to this thing, do it for 10 minutes every day. You don't need to do 1 hour. Lagos traffic is bad for those in Lagos. You don't have an hour to spare. It may mean going to bed an hour earlier. We'll talk about your night routine on on Thursday. But for now, what I want you to think about is it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. But it's about noticing what I am saying. It's about you slowing down, taking breaths, reflecting, and getting started with intention and purpose. So you don't just rush into your day. Your day is guided. You go into your day slowly and gently. And slowly does not mean that it's a lazy approach. I always say this, I gent to no be say I lazy, meaning I like a calm way of doing things. That doesn't mean I am silly. That just means that the way I feel the world is different. And people can calmly do this. But you need to slow down and reflect and get started with intention and presence. Now, the beautiful thing about morning routine lies not in the time you wake up. I just need to emphasize this, but rather in how best you make use of that hour or of the day. It's about setting a positive tone for the day ahead and finding a reading that works just for you. Find what works for you. And for me, what I love about morning routines, especially slowing down and doing deep breaths, breathing exercises are one of the most difficult things to do. We think it's easy. Just Google any breathing exercise and try and do it if it's not something you do. That's silence that I'm taxing you to practice. And I want to know, which of those savers do you want to practice first? If you could practice one first, let me know. I'm a bit curious. But silence is the most difficult thing. Sometimes we don't want to sit down with ourselves. We don't want to be bored. Sometimes boredom is good for creativity because it forces your brain to think. You're thinking about what every other person is saying, but you fail to think for yourself. So, silence and having a morning routine helps you reflect and think for yourself. It helps you set your intentions and cultivate gratitude for the person you are. And most importantly, it nourishes your soul, your body, your spirit, your soul, your body before tackling the demands of the outside world, because the demands of the outside world are there. What you can control is your actions. And which actions you can control, one of the actions you can control is what you do first thing in the day, your morning routine. Like I said, incorporate prayers into it. Incorporate, oh, listening to Sunday sermon. Maybe that's what you will listen to. Incorporate something that will help you be the best version of yourself. But it starts with you. And for me, I call mine mindful mornings. And it's dedicating this time to myself. And it's not just about moving fast, but it's about moving slow to actually move faster than others. You collapse time and move faster when you slow down to understand yourself and breathe and reflect, because it gives you that deeper connection that you need. And when you're creating your own morning routine, ensure that it aligns with your values. We've talked about your values, your beliefs. Why do you believe what you believe? What are your priorities? What are the things that are the most important to you? If family is the most important to you, then in order for you to spend time with your family, you have to spend time with yourself. That may seem counterproductive, but you have to actually. So it may be waking up when everybody else is sleeping and going to bed early. Be intentional about what time you go to bed, creating that routine. Some people just want to have that solitude to themselves because it brings them a wonderful, wonderful sense of purpose. We've already said that it's quality over quantity. I said quantity versus quality. My answer is quality. Go for quality. It's not about spending 1 hour trying to read and then you're not reading, you're all over the place. You start it, you already get upset. But plan in advance. I call my mindful morning. My mindful morning routine is not in the number of tasks that I have accomplished, but in the quality of me being present when I'm doing anything. So when I am doing my morning routines, I am present. I'm intentional about what I bring up because I already know that every day by 9 a.m., I need to be with my team. And if anybody is listening, please you can post the link to the course, to the workshop. By 9 a.m. I need to be with my team. So I need to do certain things before I meet with them. And that's just the way I work. So, in order for me to give something quality to the team, I have to spend time with myself. Spending time with yourself gives you the best version of yourself, and it allows you show up as the best version of yourself in all areas of your life. So, the power of a morning routine is not just about waking up early, but it's about what you do with the time that you have. It's about ensuring that you're giving your best version of yourself at every point in time. And it's also about ensuring that you're not doing it to please anyone, but you're doing what works for you. It's not just about what works for everybody, it's what works for you. What works for you may not work for me. Now, so many people will say, oh, if they start something, they are able to complete it, but others are not. We identified three different groups of people: that those that know they should set goals, but don't even know where to start. Those that have set goals and they've abandoned these goals completely. They even forgot they set goals in the first place. And then there are those that set goals and are just overwhelmed because they don't know the next step to take. And what we've done is we've created this workshop that would help you actually hit the reset button. Because sometimes what you just need is a reset, and I call this the reset. But the reset is an amazing program that I have created that would help people actually get something done, that would help you plan for the next 6 months. Because sometimes what you just need is a roadmap. It goes beyond setting goals. Setting goals is not enough. You set goals in the past. What happened? Nothing. So if you are setting goals and you're motivated, you're hyped, you have the resources, you have the skills, you have every single thing, but you find yourself stuck, then this workshop is for you. And I will put in something. If you invite someone from this workshop, that would be great, please. Invite someone, Wilson, and all the other people that are listening. But it's a 1 day workshop. It's designed to help you build a personal productivity system, because you need a system that will help you be more productive. I call it self-management, how to manage yourself. Before you manage others, you have to manage yourself. So how do you manage yourself when you've not been trained to? So this training is going to help you learn how to manage yourself, be the best version of yourself, and it's something that I believe that you can join from the comfort of your homes. It starts on the 1st of July, 6 to 9 p.m. in the evening, and you can get your tickets by simply clicking this link or this link, depending on where you are buying from. Due to the restrictions in Nigeria, we have to create a separate link, and then we have this link for anybody ordering your ticket from anywhere in the world. But whichever link you use that works for you will get you access. And we've got 3 more days. I can't believe 3 days to the reset. I'm excited to have you. I think sales will have to end soon because we want everybody to get all the emails needed to thrive. But that brings me to the end of today's session. And do we have any questions? Do we want to take a quiz tomorrow about journaling? I'm thinking I will give journaling prompts and prompts that can help you with journaling. So at least you can get started with something as simple as writing your thoughts, thinking on paper, getting the things out of your head and finding a way to express yourself without compromising your values. So, since I have no questions, I will bid you good night. Thank you so much for joining me on today's wonderful journey. It's been amazing talking to you about goals, about getting things done, about finding a way to position yourself. Tomorrow's conversation is on journaling. And I think it's just going to go beyond having a pretty book that you put on your table, but looking at the powers you can derive, the superpowers you can derive. Now, what I'm going to call it, I'm going to rename it to your superpowers you can derive from journaling. And in my opinion, it's something that I believe everybody should embrace. So we did morning routine today, and we're going to journaling because of scribing, because I didn't want to go too much details on the scribing aspect. Then on Thursday we'll talk about nighttime routines and how getting the best sleep empowers you to be the best version of yourself. So thank you and good night. I remain yours, DK Jonah. Have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 9 p.m. Cheers.